Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Jordan Burns from CoachesAid.com, home of the Amateur Sports Broadcasting Network, ASBN, and we are live from Yerba Buena High School in sunny San Jose, California. Today we have a great matchup for you. The over-the-top, best outstanding teams of the league. We have the Central Coast Barnstormers and the Almaden County Knights. I have had the privilege of watching both of these teams play, and they have definitely been the ones to dominate their game. So today's going to be a good one for us here at CoachesAid.com and you at home. So we're going to come back at the start of kickoff. So sit back, relax, and we'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Jordan Burns from CoachesAid.com, home of the Amateur Sports Broadcasting Network, ASBN, and we are live here at Yerba Buena High School in sunny, beautiful San Jose, California. I just got word from our lovely field reporter, Jennifer Gallagher, after talking to the head coach of the Barnstormers. Last week we asked them how did their game go. They said they did fantastic. They beat the Bandits 28-6. And we'll be seeing the Bandits here a little bit later if you stick around and watch the broadcast at 7 o'clock here. And they said during the week they were to be contained. That has been their struggle so far this season. So they had a big stress about it this week, and they think they are ready to rock and roll. They have a new quarterback, number 13. That is Sterling Montgomery, a young talent. He actually plays football for community college in Gilroy. Jennifer, what did you say that college was again? Gavlin College in Gilroy, California. And we asked the Knights how their game went last week, and they just told us that they won against the Cardinals, which means both these teams are coming off a win. Both these teams are coming off 2 straight wins in the season, so they are fired up and ready to go. And so are we as we wait these teams to come on for the opening kick. Teams as they get through their pregame pep talk. And the coach gets them out onto the field. And it looks like they're about ready to get this game started as the two teams come out onto the field slowly but surely. And my expert opinion, I would say, the things to watch out for, ladies and gentlemen, would be turnovers. This league, that's something they have a lot of trouble with, is the turnovers, ball security, and not throwing interceptions. Interceptions have been a big downfall for most teams in this league. So if these quarterbacks can keep their mind sharp and the receivers can stay focused, we'll see a good offensive game, and I hope to see some good, hard, clean hitting by the defenses. Offensive line, defensive line, all going to be units to watch, especially for the Barnstormers with their big man, number 74. He's 6'4", 460 pounds. That's a big boy, but he is the rock of their offensive line. Last week they had a couple run plays where the running back just sat right behind him, and they took it into the end zone. And here we are to start out this game as the Knights come to kick it off, and this game is underway. And it is fielded around the 10-yard line. He makes his way, makes a couple good moves, and tackled there past the 30-yard line. Let's say the 34 is where they're going to mark it down. And they start off for their first drive, 1st and 10. On their own 34-yard line is the Barnstormers. And as we said earlier in this broadcast, number 13, Sterling Montgomery will be the player to watch today. Young quarterback, lots of talent, very athletic. Just hope to see that he can mold back into this league as a starter after coming last year off an injury. And early in this game, we have a timeout. And some confusion on the field. Coach didn't like what he saw. It's a little early for commercial break, so we're going to stay here and talk football. As these coaches are trying to figure out what they're going to run here, what their problem was. The refs trying to figure out what they're going to do. I'm going to wait for the first play of the offensive drives. Barnstormers have the ball, first possession of the game on their own 34-yard line, 1st and 10, as we wait for this timeout. And it looks like they are ready to rock and roll, and as the teams come back onto the field. Barnstormers with 3 wide receivers out, 2 to the closest side of the field to us. And Montgomery is in the shotgun. He takes the snap and hands it off to the running back. Running back makes a good move and a powerful run there. Good statement of a pick of about 4 there as they get the ball out to the 38-yard line.
And on the stop for the Knights, number 47, Armando.
They line up again quickly, takes the snap, drops back the pass, throws it down deep, and it is caught! A beautiful catch here early in this game as they pick up a 1st down, and they get the ball on the other side of the field. They'll get a 1st down and 10 on the Alameda Knights 35-yard line. And it takes a high snap, tries to roll out, but he is taken down in the backfield for a sack. And on the tackle there was number 42. That is Dominic Lopez. And after that sack, bring up 2nd down and 15. Lines up back in the shotgun. Takes the snap, drops back to pass again. Short pass right out there. Picks up about 6 on the play. Bringing up 3rd down and 7. Excuse me, 3rd down and 9 it looks like.
And on the stop for the Knights, number 36.
And as they go for their first attempt at a 3rd down conversion, 9 yards to go to pick up the first, and they move the ball up. Actually, that's going to set them up about 8 yards away from the 1st down. 3 receivers on the close side of the field. Takes the snap. And he tries to find a player, number 7, but he overthrows it. 10 receiver there was Greg Walton. And that's going to bring up 4th down after that incomplete pass. And they're going to skip a field goal attempt, and they're going to go for it. 4th down and 8 as they try to establish an early lead. Drops back, pressure, and he is taken down in the backfield. Great pressure there by the Alameda Knights. In on the tackle there, I believe, was number 20 for the Knights. Actually, that was number 55, Sean Lindsay. And after that sack there on 4th down, there'll be a change of possession and an early turnover And that is deflating for an offense. Have to go through that as the Alameda Knights will come out for their first drive of the game. They have first down and 10 on their own 39-yard line. Quarterback comes under center, hands it off, and he tries to power his way up the middle for a gain of about 2 on the play, bringing up second down and 8. Second down and 8 for the Alameda Knights. Coming on the I formation, 2 backs set up behind the quarterback. Takes a snap, hands it up again. He tries to find a lane, and it looks like he might have picked up the first down. See where they mark it down. They're definitely gonna give him the first down. Mark it past the 50-yard line and into Barnstormer territory, as they pick up their first down of the game. First down and 10 on the 47-yard line of the Barnstormers. Setting up in that same formation that they've been doing. Expecting another run, and it is a run up the middle, but he fools no one, and he is taken down in the backfield for a loss of 1 on the play, bringing up second down and 11. Second down here for the Knights. And they set up for the I formation yet again. And he drops back to pass. Gets a block, lobs it up, and it is nearly intercepted. The receiver just drops it. Missed opportunity there by the Knights. Not the greatest throw. And there is a flag there on the field around the 40-yard line. And it was a false start by the offense, and it's going to be declined, bringing up, so it is third down and 11. As we wait for the Knights to call a play. And their quarterback, number 29, trots up back onto the field. That is Joe Paras, the second. Different formation now. 4 receivers out, 2 and 2. Under center. Takes the snap, drops back. Tries to find a lane, scrambling now. Picks up the first down after some good movement there. And he picks up the first down and is taken down right around the 33-yard line.
15-yard pickup flag on the play. Baseline. The penalty makes first down.
And they move the ball up. So it is first down and 10 on the 29-yard line. Quarterback drops back yet again. Tries to get a block by his running back, but it is for naught as he is taken down for the sack as the line breaks down.
Sack. Number 55, Nate Garnica. Also on the stop, number 54, Ron Kurtzel.
After that, bringing up second down and long after a 6-yard sack. Second down. Hands it off to his running back number 4, and he just makes it back to the 29-yard line where they started that first down and 10. So bringing up 3rd and 10 after that run. Run there by Dante Mills. Third down coming up if they come out of the huddle. And a flag comes out.
Flag on the play.
Looks like someone started that play a little bit early. Number 97 is having trouble getting up.
Encroachment defense.
And that is on the defense for encroachment. That's a free 5 yards. Making it this third down conversion a little bit more manageable as it is 3rd down and 5. He goes up for the deep pass. And he gets the touchdown, but there is a flag on the field.
Number 1, Antonio Duplessis on the touchdown reception.
On that catch there is Antonio Duplessis. And he puts up the first points of the game. But we'll see what the refs call on this flag here. My guess is either holding on offense or defense. Didn't see any.
Initial call on the field was a legal man downfield. They gave the touchdown.
And the call on the field was holding, and that touchdown will be denied, taken off the board as they go for another 3rd down. 3rd down and 5 for the Knights as they try for this second 3rd down conversion. And they actually finally moved the chains, moved the line of scrimmage back the extra 5 yards. Third down and 9. And he muffs the handoff. He muffs the snap. And that'll bring up 4th down. And the Knights will call a timeout here, which means we'll take a short break and come back after this timeout. You're watching CoachesAid.com, home of the Amateur Sports Broadcasting Network. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, here at Yerba Buena High School in San Jose, California. I'm here with my good friend, Eddie, and he'll be doing our play-by-play commentary for the rest of the game.
I will, and I'm really happy to be here. Man, I'm driving as fast as I can, really. I mean, there's so much traffic, but luckily I'm here. And you know what? I forgot to even mention this to you. I don't know if you already knew this, and people listening obviously knew this. It's 2-2-0 teams coming into this game, man. Yeah, I had the opportunity to watch them last week. That is a great special teams play right there from the Barnstormers. How about that? Messing up that field goal attempt, and it's going to be turnover on Dan's. They're going to take over right there. Not bad field position, Jordan.
Yeah, not bad field position at all, especially after a touchdown there by the Knights, and then it was taken away by a holding penalty and just not able to capitalize on it. But good job by the defense of the Barnstormers.
And they're going to take over right here at the 35-yard line. We're going to see a 1st and 10. And obviously we're still in the first quarter. 7:23 left to go in this one, the battle of the undefeateds. And look at that run right there on the far end of the field, picking up a 1st down. Nice play right there from number 20, I believe, from the Barnstormers. And we had some miscues with both of these teams last week. I was actually commentating the games over at Big Valley Christian. And the rosters were so messed up. I felt so bad afterwards. We got the player of the game. We got his name wrong the entire game. Like, how embarrassing is that? I was so upset with myself. I did apologize to the guy afterwards. But luckily we got the updated rosters now. 1st and 10, just about 3 yards off from the 50. And how about that? A hard count draws the Alameda County Knights offsides in. In reality, I was really looking forward to this matchup. I mean, this is two teams really that are so physical. They can put up points. They're great on both sides, 3 sides of the field. But when you take a look at special teams, obviously, as well. But, I mean, Jordan, you saw these guys warming up and everything. What's the biggest thing that you kind of saw besides the size and the speed? Because that's there. The athleticism, I feel, it's totally there.
Yeah, both these teams have a size factor that a lot of these teams in this league don't have. I've seen both these teams play, and a couple weeks ago I saw the Barnstormers play here against the 49ers, and they ran over the 49ers. It was size versus speed, and the same thing with the Alameda Knights when they played against the Santa Cruz Gladiators a few weeks back. And I saw the same thing in warm-ups. I talked to the coach. We actually had our field reporter, Jennifer Gallagher, do that, and the coach said they've been working on a lot of the QB contained has been the hardest part for these teams. And that's kind of a trend that we've seen around the league. The outside linebackers have definitely been stars in this league, and the tackles need to step it up a little bit. But the Barnstormers, they have one of the best guards in the league, big number 74.
Back-to-back plays that are a nice gain of yards right there. So it was a 6-yard pickup on the first one from Dupree Elliott. And right there on a 2nd and 4, I believe that was number 20, the man that they just gave the ball to not long ago, actually, Travis Damberger. And he's about a yard short of a first down. So 3rd and 1 coming up. And those are some big guards now that you mentioned. That entire offensive line is one thick line. Big 3rd and 1 coming up right here. This is, looks like Matthew Barkira. From what the roster tells me, it's a nice little 3-yard pickup on over to the 40-yard line. And getting really close to field goal territory now here in the opening quarter of Week 3 matchup of the California Developmental Football League. I'd like to remind everybody that you're tuned in to CoachesAid.com, the amateur sports broadcasting network. 1st and 10. How about this play right here? Nice move. Now, to be honest with you, like I said, we had some troubles with the roster. That looks like Dupree Ellie right there, just because I saw Ellie on the back of the jersey. So is that Dupree Ellie right there? Jordan, now I'm getting a little mixed up, my friend. These Barnstormers, man, they are talented, but not as much getting the rosters together for us. It's all good. Much love for them. They are a great team. I had a blast covering them last weekend.
Yeah, the Barnstormers definitely are a big talent. Their offensive line is really impressive. They definitely work as a big unit together.
And a timeout is called on the Barnstormers side. We're taking a break right now for CoachesAid.com here with 5:16 left to go in the first quarter of Week 3 matchup between the Knights and the Barnstormers. And we are back here for CoachesAid.com, the amateur sports broadcasting network. Just coming back from a break right now with 5:16 left to go in the first quarter. I'm Eddie Ruiz alongside Jordan Burns. Jumping in a little bit late, but I am here. And we got a long day ahead of us, Jordan. We got another game coming up after this, my friend. We're going to be doing that game also. Yeah,
back to back. We'll be here from, I got here around 2 o'clock. So 2 o'clock to, usually these games go on for a long time. I didn't get out for the last San Jose game till around 11 o'clock. So
holy cow.
We're in for a long one.
Oh my. Yeah, that's all day. For sure. I'm looking forward to it. The fact that we can say that we're watching football and broadcasting football for all those things here in April. I'm pretty pumped, man. This is right before the draft, too. I mean, we got so many things we have going on with football still. We thought the NFL and college football season was over, huh? Not semi-pro.
NFL season's never over. There's always something going on.
There is. And if there's not, they're semi-pro. 2nd and short coming up, about 2 yards. Dupree Alley finds a nice crease from the right side. Oh my, bumps off about 2 tacklers. Takes a whole bunch of Knight defenders to finally bring him at least to a halt for a moment over at the 15-yard line. Now they're saying that it might be a turnover. It was one of the Knights players that came down with the ball, and he kind of stripped it from Ellie. What a heck of a play defensively from the Knights as well. The Knights, when we watched them last week, or when I watched them last week over at Big Valley, this defense, they were stingy. I mean, I don't think they gave up a play that was more than about 8 yards. So holding your opponent to under double-digit yards per play, I mean, you don't allow a double-digit yard play. That's wow. That's speechless, honestly, in a game, wouldn't you say so? Because you have 4 quarters to make something happen.
Defense is definitely a big part in this league, and they're lucky that it wasn't a turnover, because turnovers have been usually what kills these teams. We see a lot of interceptions and a lot of bad ball carrying skills. So the better. And as the weeks go by, I expect to see that those little things start to improve. Another
penalty against the Barnstormers. That's a false start. So back them up 5 yards. And you talk about the physicality on these defenses, but these offenses, Jordan, they from week 1 to now, that's one of the things that I spoke to co-commissioner Richard Cobb, and he mentioned that this is totally different from any sort of other football that you can really even think of, because they focus a lot on basically offense. So the passing game is huge. They don't focus on run first, by the way. I mean, which kind of threw me off. I was kind of, like, what? That's taking away the fundamentals. 1st and 10. Nice little screen attempt right there. That's number 20 with a nice run. That's Derek Morrison. Great carry down the middle after the catch. And yeah, when you take a look at all these teams, I mean, they all kind of have to have somewhat of a big quarterback. We're going to take a look at one later this afternoon, the guy that they call Big Baby Ben. Ben Roethlisberger, obviously. So they call him Big Baby Ben over at East Valley Bandits. This guy is huge. He's about 6'5". I mean, 230. The guy, I saw him throwing without even really rotating his hips, about 40 yards down the field. Kind of impressive as far as arm strength. 2nd down coming up. Launched right in the air. Boy, I was going to say that was a lot of contact.
Yeah, that was an obvious pass interference.
Intended for Kenny Strickland Jr. on the near side of the field, and it looks like it's without a doubt going to be a 1st and goal coming up momentarily after the refs chat about it for a moment or two. And, I'm not seeing Maxie Zane out there. One of the top cornerbacks, not just in the CDFL, but obviously the leading cornerback for the Knights last week with a pick 6 that essentially kind of ended the game when they ended up beating, I believe it was the Stanislaus Cardinals. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I remember. And a heck of a game defensively for them. The Cardinals came out, though, defensively as well. We got to give them some credit. They've been one of the struggling teams beside the South Bay Gold. And I don't know what's going on here with the officials. I mean, I was going to say, I think it was as obvious as anything, right? There was about 3 flags we saw around the vicinity. Pass interference, it is. My colleague right here, Burns, was correct. So we're looking at now a 1st and goal inside the 3-yard line. So not looking in too bad a shape here with 3:32 left to go in the 1st quarter. Ellie takes the handoff right away, and he is met behind the line and taken down defensively. That guy right there, number 32 with the play, William Taylor. Absolutely great play from him and Sean Lindsay and all these absolutely just stunning Alameda County Knight defensive players were right there, right in front of Ellie's face the second he got the handoff.
Yeah, that's impressive to see. An entire defensive line comes in and rushes the Barnstormers' offensive line and gets a play in the backfield. You don't see that too often in this league.
The size difference is there, but the speed. Boy, the Knights are the ones showing that's kind of been their X factor here thus far. Pushing him back 12 yards. Nice lob to the far end of the field. What a play! Touchdown is what it looks like. Yes, it is. What a fantastic play from Omari Carr after an even better throw from Sterling Montgomery for the 1st touchdown of the game here with 2:38 left to go. What a great play from the Barnstormers to take the lead here in the opening quarter of this one. Now we await the extra point. Betancourt is the man who's going to take the attempt, stretching out a little bit from Montgomery. It is good. The pressure was on the far end, but no problem at all for Betancourt. He puts that in with 2:38. They take the lead 7-0. Central Coast Barnstormers coming out, firing away after getting blown away on that 1st and what do you think of this play selection and the 2nd down with 15 yards to go? I mean, boy, it was just basically a wide open, playbook for them.
Yeah, that was a good play. It was actually kind of a risky pass there, throwing that fade. It's a hard route to throw, especially in this league. So I'm impressed. I'm happy to see that they got some points up on the board, and I'm getting this game started early on. We're getting some momentum here. So let's see if the Alameda Knights can come out and retaliate.
And what's it going to take for this offense of the Knights to get things rolling? Because against a team kind of like the Stanislaus Cardinals, who have been struggling, this offense wasn't necessarily perfect last week. I mean, they had their ups and downs. But what's the thing that's going to be the X factor? Who's going to be the X factor, if anybody, for the Alameda County Knights? I mean, besides the quarterback, John Russell, because you can't really lay it all on him.
It's going to come down to penalties and turnovers, obviously. So whatever defense can step up and be aware and not too jumpy. They have to be able to hold their water and not over pursue, not jump off sides, because that's really what's going to kill these teams.
Penalties for teams like this can be quite essential when you're talking about giving up yards to the opposition. Here's Betancourt with the kickoff from their own 35, and the kickoff takes a nice bounce for the County Knights, just a little here, just under the 20. That's Maxie Zane, who returns it for, I think, maybe about 5 yards, just a little past the 20-yard line. 1st and 10. This is where the Knights are going to take over. One of the few undefeated teams left in the CDFL after Week 2 action. And an offense that really hasn't done much here in the opening quarter, unfortunately, but it's still early. There's still lots of time left to go in this one.
Yeah, they're just warming up here. They need to get their offense into a groove.
Weather really seems to be perfect. I'm assuming it's probably like 70 degrees out here. Wind is blowing just right. Boy, I wish I was playing football right now. 1st and 10, a little past the 21 yard. Running it down the middle. Picking up about maybe 5 yards on that one. Number 4, Dante Mills. And it looks like John Russell's not out there. And I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Jordan, but I mean, I wasn't here for the pregame, so I didn't get a chance to check it out. Is John hurt by any chance?
I didn't have a chance to go talk to the Knights coach, so I couldn't tell you that. I do know there are some players that are absent, but they didn't let us know who.
Well, assuming out of action, I guess John's probably taking the weekend off. Well, that was the quarterback last week. That's why I'm kind of going based off of that. A play right here, nice one for the Knights. They pick up another 3 yards is what it looks like. Very close to a first down, about 1.5 yards it looks like. So it's going to be a 3rd and very short coming up for an offense that essentially they're without their starting quarterback. John Russell, not here today. For whatever reason it may be, but their backup quarterback looks to be like Luis Samayoa. Oh my, brought down. Number 6 from the Barnstormers, Brandon Gooch. What a great play. Clutch on number 28, it looks like. That's definitely the quarterback, Luis Samayoa. And on a 3rd down, not too shabby. They're going to stop him and bring up a 4th down. And now it's going to be way too long to try to even go for it. And when you don't have your starting quarterback, I don't think you want to take very many risks.
Yeah, this is an odd situation where you've got to try to go for it when you're backed up in your own territory. And haven't been playing that well in this offense on this drive, so just kick it away and give it to your all-star defense.
The one essential part is that the wind is in their favor, so should get a couple of yards off this punt. From the 22, The punt is pretty solid over to the 35. And Billy Carlisle returns it on over to the Alameda County Knights side of the field here with 16 seconds left to go. We're going to await about one more play before we start the second one. And a 1st and 10 coming up for Sterling Montgomery and this Barnstormers offense. One of the highest scoring offenses after week 2 are the Barnstormers, who absolutely controlled the East Valley Bandits last week in their own home, held them to only 6 points. Not too shabby. Player in motion for Montgomery. He does the simple thing, the right thing, hands it off to Derek Morrison. On over to the 30, no, the 41-yard line. And this is going to bring up the end of the first quarter. So just like that, the end of the first quarter, 7-0 lead. The Barnstormers in control of this one so far. We'll be right back after this for Coach's Aid. And we're back here for action. CoachesAid.com here at Yerba Buena High School in San Jose, California. Week 3 action. Beautiful day, beautiful. I don't think the weather's even about 70 degrees. All right, we're back here for CoachesAid.com at Yerba Buena High School in San Jose, California. We apologize for that little delay, little technical difficulties that happened. 12 left to go here in the second quarter. Barnstormers still maintain possession as we were in the beginning here of the second quarter. You guys didn't miss too much, less than 2 minutes. So, in all honesty, rest of the game still in your hands. Sit back and enjoy. Second quarter, 13-12 left to go. Week 3 action. The Barnstormers from the 20-yard line, 1st and 10. Sterling Montgomery with 3 receivers set, 2 on the far end and 1 on the near. And we're going to have some trivia questions coming up for you guys. Some fun stuff. Dupree Alley on a 1st and 10. What a great block. He tries to find a crease. Maxie Zhang, what a tremendous play. The number 1 cornerback for the Knights. And he stopped. Dupree Alley back a handful of yards.
Even after all that fancy footwork and effort, he still gets tackled in the backfield.
And this is one of the things that the Knights possess, among other things, is their speed. Doesn't matter where you are, doesn't matter who you are. They are fast enough to catch you, and they will. And it looks like it's the same formation, but on the opposite side. So now they got 2 receivers on the near end, but no, they put Dupree Alley in motion. So they got 3. Nice little fake. Bit of a delayed draw on a running back. Run on the far end, and maybe about a yard or 2 that he's going to be able to pick up there. And this is still going to bring up a 3rd and long. Jordan, you're 3rd and long, my friend, and you're a little past the 20-yard line. What do you do on a 3rd down? Critical situation. The playbook isn't necessarily as open as you'd like it to be because you're not 3rd and short. You're essentially 3rd and quite long, actually.
Yeah, at this point, you're going to have to pass it, especially because the last 2 run plays have not been very effective. So the best thing you can do is you can't even fake the run because they're not going to be expecting it. So
I don't think they were. Wow, and almost catching them offsides. It looks like there's no call. There's definitely no offsides. Open play. Sterling Montgomery to Dupree Alley. What a touchdown. And the yards after the catch is where it was. What a great play for Montgomery to Dupree Alley for a 22-yard touchdown with 11:23 left to go in this one. Wow, Montgomery. Can you say player of the first half so far? This guy with the only touchdown passes of the game here so far with 11:23 left to go. What do you think of Montgomery's pass on that one and his vision down the field?
Beautiful. The receiver was wide open, and the receiver did a great job of keeping his balance after the hit and just being able to walk his way into the end zone. And after talking to the coach earlier before the game, he did say to watch out for Montgomery.
Montgomery's the man for this offense. Oh my, almost messing up. That extra point was the special teams for the Knights, but no problem at all. They take the 14-0 lead with 11:23. We're taking a break. We'll be right back after this for CoachesAid.com. Wind seems like it's picking up. I'm Eddie Ruiz for CoachesAid.com, the amateur sports broadcasting network. Week 3 action of the CDFL, the California Developmental Football League. The Barnstormers taking on the Alameda County Knights here at Yerba Buena High School in San Jose, California. And a touchdown just like that. Sterling Montgomery with back-to-back answered points so far. Nice opening first half for the Barnstormers. Wouldn't you say so, Jordan?
Yeah, definitely. It's been very one-sided. Barnstormers have been dominating on both sides of the ball. And I hope to see that trend keep going. But I also hope to see the Knights come back and have a little bit of fire. Need a good game. That's what I expect today, especially because we're going to be here a while.
We will also sit back, hang tight, enjoy it. We got another game. This is a doubleheader today. We are not done with you guys. Nice stiff arm. That's Aaron Wallace here at the near side, and he makes it past the 20-yard line.
All the way down to 22.
Not bad field position. It could be worse to start things off. In the Alameda County Knights, to be exact, take over with 11:15. An offense that is essentially missing one of the most vital parts of your team, not just your offense, but your quarterback. John Russell not here for the Knights today. A big reason why the Knights had been successful the last 2 weeks to open things off. And here today, we've already seen a couple of drives, just kind of a depletion, a team that seems not necessarily lost, but kind of not working as well as they essentially could be working.
Yeah, definitely not as focused as they could be.
Johnny Wafer is the quarterback now, so they changed things up a little bit. Knowing that without John Russell out there, they are limited. Let's just say that. So nice pickup, though, on a first down play. And we talked about this league not being essentially a run-pass first league. This is a league where you kind of try to attack the weakness of the opposing team, and you pass it more, basically. Simple as that.
I find that kind of incorrect, though. I've seen most of these games, I've seen a lot of run-heavy offense.
Oh, absolutely. You know what? I couldn't agree with you more. And I was kind of, wondering the same thing as well, because these teams right here, like the Alameda County Knights and the Central Coast Barnstormers, are such physical teams. They are built to run it. Then you take a look at teams like, we're going to watch the East Valley Bandits. They're built to pass it. And Richard Cobb is the head coach there and the co. Oh, my goodness. What a play right here from Wafer, making nothing happen. I mean, something out of nothing, essentially. It was a broken play. He almost got sacked by 3 Barnstormers players, and just a heck of a play. And I'm talking about Richard Cobb, what essentially is the co-commissioner and the coach and owner of the East Valley Bandits. And, his thing was, this is just different. This is just not necessarily, what you would expect to see as far as running the ball. And I was just kind of like, it's not football, my friend. What are you talking about here? What planet are you living on? And he just, he's a great guy. And he just goes on really enthusiastically about, the wonders of this league and the differences. First and 10 coming up. Dante Mills, fantastic play. He just made some great, powerful runs last week as well that we've seen. Yeah, and much respect to Richard Cobb. We'll talk to him, obviously, before the game. And we'll see what his take is going to be on, obviously, this afternoon's game. But then you take a look at that team, Burns, and you will, my friend. You will. And you will say, okay, I understand now. I understand his perspective on it. Not saying it's going to be like that, the case with everybody. But still, I find it very interesting, and I've seen that side of the CDFL, let's just put it that way. So I can vouch.
Yeah, I've yet to see a team that has a strong passing attack. So I'm excited to see that in the game that we have this afternoon.
Oh, definitely. It will be there. Unless Big Baby Ben happens to be missing today for some reason. But if that guy's here, you will see a special quarterback for the CDFL. Nice pickup right there from Dante Mills. And they are just going to be about 2 yards short. 3rd and short coming up with 9:25 and counting here in the second quarter.
And you compared Big Baby Mills. You said that he was kind of like Ben Roethlisberger in a way. And I actually think that the quarterback for this team right now, he's been playing a lot like Ben Roethlisberger. He's been playing tall, and he's big. And where's the number 7? And so as soon as I saw him break those tackles, that's what it reminded me of.
Great play from Dante Mills. He makes his way near the midway part of the field, very close to it at the 49-yard line. Johnny Wafer, the quarterback, the man you're talking about, number 7, is a big body not as tall as Big Baby Ben, but nevertheless a big physical guy, big specimen. Not as big as Stanislaus Cardinals quarterback, though. I'd definitely say that is without a doubt the thickest quarterback of the bunch. Dante Mills, 1st and 10. Oh, and this time he is brought down by a bunch of Barnstormers defender. There was about 5 of them up in his face the second he took the handoff, and I don't think he was able to even get out past the line of scrimmage. And with 7 minutes left to go in the second quarter, they are looking at a 2nd and 10 as they got pushed back a couple of inches past the 49-yard line.
I think this is a great time, if I was the coach, to be calling a play action or some sort of read option. Just some sort of trickery you need right now. You need to get this Barnstormers team thinking differently. You've definitely been really predictable up to this point, so change it up.
Wafer's pass on a 2nd down falls incomplete. And his pass was intended for number 1, Antonio Duplessis, who had a handful of catches and a touchdown last week. I'd like to remind you guys to tell your friends, tell your family that Coach's Aid ASBN is broadcasting live here at CoachesAid.com. You can also rewatch this game on demand in 3 to 5 business days or buy a DVD from the DVD store, all at CoachesAid.com. And Bernsey, I'd like for you to pick out a trivia question for our listeners, my friend. Pick one of these infamous trivia questions that are so difficult. Actually, being a little sarcastic. Some of them are, some of them are not. Pick whatever you would like. Let us know. Oh, my goodness. A 3rd down play from Wafer, and he just heaves it up in the air about 40 yards down the field, almost intercepted. There was about 2 defenders for the Barnstormers, but we should ask the question and then give the answer in the second half, I think. Wouldn't you agree? Kind of tease the listeners a little bit. We'll ask them the question again in the third quarter.
I would say we'd give them the answer towards the end of this half, and then give them another question to think about during halftime.
Ooh, you're bad. Ooh, I like that. Let's do it.
So the question is, in what year did the NFL and AFL announce their merger?
Ooh, okay, I like that question, actually. That is a good question. 4th down coming up, by the way, for the Knights. Can you repeat that question again, though? I need to hear it again.
In what year did the NFL and AFL announce their merger?
Well, I was definitely not alive back then. Let's think about that for a second. Let's see if our rig operator here, Mike Chasko, can even think of the answer. I'll give you guys a hint, everybody tuning in. It was during a great time that people called the Summer of Love or something like that, right? It's during that era, let's just say that. I think that kind of gives it away, actually. A penalty pushes the Knights back 5 yards. No problem at all, though. They were set up for a punt. They're still set up for a punt. And with 6 minutes and 22 seconds left in the first half, the Barnstormers are going to take over on offense and hopefully try to come away with some more points before this half concludes. So what year did the NFL and the AFL announce their merger? All right. Think about that for a second. Not a very deep punt at all. Boy, that was very short, maybe about 25 yards, if that. Great field position with the Barnstormers, and they're juiced up. We'll take a break right now, and we'll be right back after this.
Yes, 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 we did it! Yes, we did! Okay, see you, bud. Later.
Honey, who was that?
Who, that guy? I don't know.
Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports.
So back-to-back timeouts, something I think a little unexpected. So right after the Barnstormers timeout ended, the Knights were not ready. They weren't. They called timeout back-to-back. And just like that, the Barnstormers, who've kind of been on fire, at least the last two possessions, they've been able to find the end zone on both occasions. Touchdown passes from Sterling Montgomery, to be exact. And on a 1st and 10, it's a penalty. False start, it looks to be against the Barnstormers, who are going to be pushed back 5 if that is the case. No, the rep was walking the opposite side. So it is against the Barnstormers. So they start 5 yards back of where they essentially began. Now 1st and 15 from the 36-yard line here with 6:22 left to go in this week 3 action showdown between two undefeated teams, the battle of the undefeateds. Sterling Montgomery attempts a wide receiver screen but falls incomplete. And it looked like that was number 15 in the area. Nolan Dixon was the intended receiver here on the near end, and that falls incomplete. So this is going to bring up a 2nd and 15 with 6 minutes and 18 seconds. And now we're starting to see a little bit of that kind of offense that Co-Commissioner Richard Cobb mentioned. Passing. A lot of passes.
Yeah, with 6 minutes left, you're going to have to try to get it as fast as possible down the field.
Oh boy, if they can at least limit those mistakes. Another penalty looks to be on the way. So they're going to be pushed back another 5 yards after what looked to be a little bit of a false start from the center, and then Montgomery was a little off, and then at the same time the running backs was off. Boy, that last play was a mess. I was going to say they called a false start, but I don't think they had any idea who to call it against. It was just a handful of players for the Barnstormers. So they're pushed back 5 more. Burnsy, you got a 2nd and 20, my friend.
Yeah, that's, as we were saying before, penalties is really what kills these teams, and especially when they get them back-to-back. That's usually what happens in this league. And this drive might be over.
It looked to be a golden opportunity from the 41-yard line. Montgomery, though, not scared. A deep pass overthrows his intended receiver. It was Nolan Dixon. Oh boy, and now this is going to bring up a 3rd and 20, and not where you would like to be if you were the Barnstormers. You were in such better shape when you started this, and all of a sudden you're backed up 10 extra yards. You don't even get a single yard in the first 2 plays.
Yeah, now they're going to have to go for another deep pass. The Knights are going to see that one coming a mile away, and it's going to be a hard one, especially with this Knights defense.
And it looks like the Alameda County Knights defense finally kind of settling down and easing their way into this game, at least defensively, after allowing those 2 touchdowns and back-to-back possessions. 5 receiver set. Trying to draw the defense offside. Sterling Montgomery makes his way forward. Pressure is on. And the defender that was right in his face, nearly brought him down, was number 47, Armando Cole, one of the leaders of this night's defense. And this is going to bring up a 4th and 20. And with 6 minutes, the Knights defensively hold the Barnstormers to negative 10 yards on this drive after allowing back-to-back touchdowns. Wow, Burns not too shabby if you're the Alameda County Knights.
Yeah, that's definitely a good play. But you have to give it a lot to – they had a lot of chances there on the Alameda Knights, especially with those 2 back-to-back penalties that set them up in 1st down and 20. That's – any team will be able to capitalize on that defensive starting.
We'll take a break here with 6:04. We'll be right back after this, guys. We're back here at Yerba Buena High School in San Jose, California for CoachesAid.com, the amateur sports broadcasting network. Alongside Jordan Burns, I'm Eddie Ruiz. Barnstormers taking on the Alameda County Knights. The 2 undefeated teams looking to come away 3-0, hopefully by the end of this one. A punt that is nearly broken up by the Knights special teams. Luckily it isn't, because a solid punt from the Barnstormers unit on over to the 25-yard line. So that is where the Knights take over. Knights offense that has been kept in check so far.
Yeah, definitely a good starting position for their defense.
So with 6 minutes and 4 seconds left to go here in the second quarter, Jordan, my friend, what do you expect to see from the Knights offensively that maybe we haven't even seen yet so far?
Well, they're going to have to start passing a little bit with only 6 minutes left. They need to put some points on the board before the half ends, just so they can get the momentum coming into the second half. So I'm expecting some passes, hopefully get some short passes, some completions, just to get the quarterback's confidence up. Just can't keep going for deep passes and not getting them, because it's going to tear the quarterback down faster than anything else.
Johnny Wafer is the quarterback. And on a first down play, why not give it to the guy who has essentially picked up most of the yards for your team, Dante Mills. But he is pushed back at the line of scrimmage, so no pickup. 2nd and 10 comes up. The clock is ticking. It's at 5:40 and counting. And you wonder, really, how will Johnny Wafer and this Knights offense be able to counter a Barnstormers defense that not only have they been stingy, I mean, this is one of the most physical defenses, I think, in the entire CDFL. And how do you attack it? How do you attack a defense that doesn't really have weaknesses?
Well, the one weakness you do notice...
Oh, boy, batted down. Wafer comes back down with it after it's batted down at the line of scrimmage.
The Barnstormers need to be tested in the secondary. Definitely need to see some more passes. Obviously, they're very physical, so their up front defense, their run stuff that's their bread and butter. So get it down the field, put pressure on their DBs that we haven't really seen much work from. So get them into the game. But you got to get quicker passes, because their defensive line is they rush passes like no other team in this league.
Some big bodies in the interior part of that defense. And when you have that much meat up front, boy, it just makes it a lot scary to kind of run in the middle. A 3rd and 18 after that pass was batted down. The pressure is on him now. Oh boy, Wafer brought down for a safety. And the Barnstormers pick up 2 more points. With 4 minutes and 7 seconds, they're going to get the ball back, and they're going to get 2 points added on. What a play defensively from the Barnstormers right there. How about that? Oh my cowness. You say, holy cow, my goodness. Man, put that together. Whew. That's what I'm thinking right now. The Barnstormers right now are on fire.
That was all in the quarterback too, though. He had a couple good wide receivers open, and he just didn't see him. He was kind of selfish, just trying to run around and didn't have an idea of where he was on the field.
So not looking in too bad a shape now are the Barnstormers, who are at least going to take a 16-point lead is what it looks like, if they're able to hold it off into the half. So looking like the far more superior squad here today are the Barnstormers. Burns, wow, what do you do? What do you do against a team that's playing the way they are?
You try to find a weakness. You're going to have to come in at halftime, and your coach is going to have to find a game plan. Going to talk to the players, figure out what is going wrong on the field. The coach doesn't have the same perspective as his players do. The players are going to have to really talk to the coach and figure out, okay, what part of our playbook do we have to throw away, and what part do we have to bring out of the back of the book, basically.
Mm-hmm. So a punt, not the prettiest. It takes a spectacular bounce for the Barnstormers. Wow. They are going to start on the Knights side of the field.
And that's rough for this Knights team, because you just gave up 2 points, and now you're looking like you're going to give up another 7 or at least another 3.
So 1st and 10, they will take over just a little past the 46-yard line. It'll be the 47 to be exact. And they're playing our jams. They're playing some California love songs. All right. This is the California Developmental Football League, so why not play some California tunes? 4 minutes, 7 seconds left to go in the first half. Week 3 action. You guys are tuning in to CoachesAid.com. We are the Amateur Sports Broadcasting Network. 1st and 10 coming up for Sterling Montgomery, the man who has been in charge of those 2 touchdowns scored for the Barnstormers. 1st and 10. They run the ball. They don't pass it this time. Looks like that was number 20, Derek Morrison, workhorse for the Barnstormers, who had a touchdown last week. Over 70 yards running on a day really that wasn't necessarily his best performance. He didn't really get all the carries, but he averaged over 6 yards per carry, so not too shabby. Dupree again showing his breakaway speed. I'm not sure why he kind of backpedaled. He could have picked up a couple more yards, but he gets pushed back, and there is some contact. There's a little pushing, shoving going on here. And you know what's funny is when you take a look at the Knights, I was covering their game last week against the Cardinals, and they got into the same type of scuffle. Not once, not twice. This happened multiple times. Oh, boy. Now, we're not saying they're choppy. I'm just saying it's happened to the Knights before. This isn't a first-time occasion. They are an emotional team, but, when you're out there playing, man, wouldn't you get emotional as well?
Yeah, I don't think I'd get to the point of pushing and shoving, because it is also just a game.
Oh, it's childish if you do that. I'm over here thinking, aren't you guys adults?
Exactly.
I mean,
we saw it happen in the Super Bowl, and that was.
That was at the end. That was ridiculous. I'd never seen that before.
That was disappointing as a fan to watch.
It was. It's just childish, and I'm over here trying to kind of laugh it off, but the Knights are going to get charged, as they were last week as well. I mean, they had a lot of they had more penalty yards than the other team, even though they beat them. I mean, oh boy. Now the Knights need to keep calm if they hope to contain the Sterling Montgomery Barnstormers offense. What a play on a 1st and 10 from Amari Carr, the man who is local, San Jose City College. What a play from Amari Carr. And he picks up about 8 yards on that one. Now we're looking at a second and about 2, maybe 3. That is what they have it at, and the clock is ticking. 2:40, and it's winding down quickly here in the second quarter. Now they go to their big back, Derek Morrison, running right behind those guards, as you mentioned, that are very, very big and physical, and quite possibly the best guard tandem, I think. One of them, at least, in the CDFL.
Yeah, definitely. And I love this running back core that the Barnstormers have. They're my favorite types of running backs. They have a speed back that has good awareness, good moves, and they also have a big power back. Like he reminds me a lot of Frank Gore in that sense, low pad level.
Oh, yeah.
And then you have their other Mari Carr, who kind of reminds me of a Jamal Charles.
What a play defensively, a mishandled snap. It looked like a bad snap. Almost losing it was Sterling Montgomery right in front of his face. Immediately was Armando Cole and number 54, Earl Littlejohn. And yeah, you mentioned it. Derek Morrison, big physical guy. He's thick. His pad level is low, so he's essentially gonna hurt you most of the time.
Yeah, definitely hard to tackle down people.
Oh boy. And a hard count draws his receiver offside. Sterling Montgomery, I don't think he was expecting that. Greg Walton is the guy. He puts his hand up. I think he knew it right from the get-go, so he's going to be called for that penalty. They're going to be pushed back 5 yards, so now we're going to be looking at a second and about 19. Wow. After 2 kind of just back-to-back broken down plays, essentially. Sterling Montgomery mishandles a snap on a first down play, followed by what just happened, a false start. 5 receivers set for Montgomery. A quick pass on the far end of the field, almost making his way to the end zone. Boy, so close, but he is going to be inside the 4-yard line. They're marking him down at the 2.
Beautiful run and catch.
Billy Carlisle is responsible for that one. With under a minute left to go in the second quarter, Montgomery takes it in the middle. And just like that, the Barnstormers on the board again, a 22-point lead with 55 seconds left to go in the first half. So far, the Barnstormers shutting out this Alameda County Knights team. Wow, not bad. As they await their extra point attempt, looking to make it a 23-0 point lead. Oh boy. Sterling Montgomery, 3 touchdowns, 2 in the air, 1 on the ground. I'll tell you this, there was semi-pro fantasy football. He's number 1 so far, guarantee that. Extra point attempt. Good. Danny Bencourt gives his team a 23-0 point lead with 55 seconds left to go. Here in the second quarter, the Barnstormers not bad a shape. And a big lead. They have taken over this one at least with 55 seconds left to go. Jordan, if you have a big lead like this going into the half, you don't want to get too confident, but at the same time, you feel confident.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those big give and takes things that could actually be the downfall of Barnstormers. So if you're a Knights fan, you're hoping that they're getting confident because it could make them play sloppy.
Sterling Montgomery with a nice little 2-yard touchdown run with 55 seconds. Leading 23-0 are the Barnstormers, Central Coast Barnstormers, based out of where I'm from, Central Coast. Not too bad. So I can pridefully say that is my team right there. Totally joking. I'm just saying that, being from the area. The wind is picking up. It's actually picking up so much that it blew the ball away, it looks like, for a second. A running clock. Not entirely sure what's going on with the running clock. They might be trying to end the first half already, but we're going to wait and see what's actually going on here. There's a couple issues going on with the clock. All the players are wondering what's going on. I'm wondering what's going on. We're going to wait and see what the officials call it. If the 55 seconds will be tacked on again.
And they're going to put back 50 seconds on the clock.
50 seconds, so not 55. As you take a look at the sidelines for the Barnstormers, Jordan, they looked pretty relaxed.
Yeah, even the Knights look relaxed. You see they're just kind of walking around. No one's actually like really focused, it looks like.
They look to be maybe in a little bit of shock.
A little bit of a rut.
Absolutely. Every synonym that you could think of in relation to that. That is what the Knights seem to be feeling. Shocker so far, because the Barnstormers are taking it to them. They are up 23 points on one of the other teams that is undefeated as well. Betancourt, solid kickoff. Makes it all the way to the end zone. I'm not sure why he picked it back up, but Aaron Wallace gets it. And a great special teams play again from the Barnstormers, making sure tackles. That's been one of their biggest assets, is the fact that they could really tackle great. I mean, Jordan, if you have one guy that's, you're not going to get away from, then you have 10 other guys that are just as good at tacklers. Boy, that makes it tough.
Yeah, tackling is definitely something that's taken for granted at all levels. People don't consider how important form tackling is. Because people just try to get those big hits like Ray Lewis and Patrick Willis and players like that. But there's so much more to it. You need to definitely you have to have the basics down first before you can make big plays like they do. You see that at the high school level especially. Players trying to not respecting form tackling as much.
1st and 10 coming up with 44 seconds left to go in the second quarter. The Knights on offense, they have been kept in check. They have not produced very much. They've used a handful of quarterbacks. This is the third quarterback I've already seen. Jamin Booty checks in. Booty with the quarterback keeper sneaks his way down the middle past the 10-yard mark over to the 11-yard mark. It looks like the clock is ticking. It's not stopping. It's 31 and counting. And it really looks to be, this might be the last play of the half, especially, the way that the Knights have been unable to really get any sort of momentum or much going on offense. The Barnstormers doing a heck of a job, and at the same time, it's been the Knights kind of shooting themselves in the foot with 4 seconds. I don't think they're even going to take another play. That's going to be it for this one. The first half ends like that. 23-0 lead for the Barnstormers. Week 3 action. And the Knights, no points in this one.
A little disappointed that they didn't go for another play. They had 50 seconds coming on that clock at the beginning in this last drive, the half. So you could have gotten a good amount of plays out of there and at least given it a chance.
They don't. They leave it just like that. So we'll take a break. We'll be right back after this halftime break with the halftime show. CoachesAid.com. I am Eddie Ruiz, Jordan Burns. We'll be right back after this.
This new Egg White Delight McMuffin is really good.
And it's 260 calories.
Maybe there are other ways we can better ourselves.
5, 6, 7. Don't give up. Push.
Hey guys, you coming to Ab Annihilation?
Yeah.
Yay.
McDonald's new Egg White Delight McMuffin. 100% egg whites and melted white cheddar on a muffin made with 8 grams of whole grain. The simple joy of a new morning.
Yes, 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 yes! We did it! Yes, we did! Yeah, see you, bud. Later.
Honey, who was that?
Who, that guy? I don't know.
Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports.
Not as bad as like a 2nd and 15 or 3rd and 15. You still have, 3 plays to get past that first yard mark, 1st and 10, and they are still in great field position there on the Central Coast Barnstormers side of the field. From the 47, what a powerful run from Dante Mills, the running back, and really not a thick, big-looking running back, but he plays like a bruising back, Jordan. What we've seen this guy do, at least, when I saw it going based off of last week into this game so far, this guy's physical. I don't think this guy is scared of getting hit.
Yeah, and you could definitely see the emotion. He sees the 23-point deficit, and he's going to be cracking some skulls trying to get to the end zone. That's all he wants to see. He sees red, and that's where he's going.
So now a 2nd and about 8. A little bit less than 8 yards left to go. 2 receivers set on each side. It's Valenzuela as the quarterback. It's about the 4th quarterback that the Knights have used so far, and he just heaves it really. Bit of a shovel pass over to Billy Carlisle, and Carlisle is pushed back about 2 yards almost, so they lose yards. A 3rd and 10 is going to be coming up after this.
Yeah, and that was a gutsy pass.
Not the smartest decision from Nelson Valenzuela. An opportunity for the Knights to come away with some points is now looking to be deteriorating, and I think they might not even be able to come away with anything, at least if the Barnstormers play defense the way they have last 2 plays and really get the pressure on up front immediately, but they are going to think about it. So at 11:23, we'll take a break. Timeout for the Knights. We'll be right back. CoachesAid.com. We're back here at Yerba Buena High School for CoachesAid.com, the amateur sports broadcasting network. Week 3 action of the CDFL, the California Developmental Football League. And with 11 minutes and 23 seconds, we are now looking at a 3rd down play coming up for the Knights, who have been shut out so far in the opening 2 quarters of this one, coming off a big win over the Stanislaus Cardinals last week. Obviously facing the fact that they don't have their quarterback, John Russell, here this afternoon. It's Nelson Valenzuela, and he just tosses it up there, really kind of just looked to throw it as far as he kind of could, attempted for Antonio Duplessis, but threw him, really just overthrew him by, look, about 15 or 20 yards. So a big overthrow from Valenzuela on that one on a 3rd down, and this is now going to bring up a 4th down after really nothing, just being held in check. The Barnstormers playing their positions correctly, and at the same time the Knights, I mean, I think I've seen about 5 quarterbacks, different ones being used. I'm not even over exaggerating. I mean, this is ridiculous. It's so tough when you don't have your starting quarterback out there, and they don't have a solid backup. So what do they do? I mean, they're trying to pull out is what they're kind of doing right now, the Knights.
Yeah, and it's extremely frustrating for a coach.
Yeah,
has to be.
I mean,
And for your wide receivers and all your players, says
everybody.
everyone's trying to put in their hardest to back him up, but he when you play starts with you mean.
And Valenzuela's pass, again, falls incomplete, intended for Duplessis, who was wide open, who could have gotten the first down, but Valenzuela, a throw on the run, just couldn't get it. Now it's a turnover on downs. Great play defensively, but then again, at the same time, I mean, what do you do when you have a quarterback in there who doesn't play quarterback? That's the real question.
You run the ball.
I was going to say, what do you do when you essentially don't have even a backup quarterback?
You don't score points, so you have to run the ball.
Yeah, oh boy, they are in a tough situation now. Let's see how this defense can hold up. It is a strong defense on a first down play. Derek Morrison is the man who takes that carry. Derek Morrison has taken a huge load so far from the Barnstormers. Getting a lot of the carries so far here in this game this afternoon. Doing a lot of work. And Montgomery as well, responsible for 3 of the team's touchdowns. All touchdowns basically have gone through him. Again, on a second down play, Derek Morrison gets the carry. 3rd and 4 coming up. 10 minutes and a half and counting the third quarter of this game 1 of a doubleheader that we have this fine afternoon. Next game after this, the East Valley Bandits and the San Jose 49ers will be scoring off after this one. And that play from the Barnstormers, looks like Matt Barkira, who makes his way to the 50-yard line. Not enough for a first down, so a 4th down is coming up for the Barnstormers. So a strong showing from the Knights defense still. I don't think they're done this afternoon. It is their focal point. Fourth down coming up right here with 10 minutes. Montgomery looks to his left. A lot of time. He heaves it up in the air, and it's picked off. And that's Maxie Zane. Oh, my goodness. Zane Maxie. So it's not Maxie Zane. I forgot to mention that. It's Zane Maxie. And he said that last week when I was broadcasting the Alameda County Knights game. He said, hey, man, please get my name right. It's Zane Maxie. It's not Maxie Zane. Hey, Zane, I know you're probably going to be tuning in and watching the rerun. So, Zane, good job. Zane Maxie, another pick. This guy has been on fire. I'm pretty sure he's got an interception every game so far. The first 3 games. So over 3 picks in 3 games. One of the star cornerbacks of this league comes up with another big pick, and he returns it all the way past the 40-yard line.
Yeah, as good a defensive play that was a terrible decision by the quarterback. He had players wide open past the first down marker. They were waving their arms. Help, please, quarterback, pass me that ball. And he decided to go for the deep ball, and he paid for it.
Luckily, the big man, Zane Maxey, was there for the pick, and he just really jumped the pass. And on this first down play, they give it to Dante Mills again. It's been the workhorse. I think he picks up maybe 4 yards, not even 4 yards. Second down coming up for the Knights offense, who has been shut out. Absolutely dominated so far in the opening 2 quarters. Without their starting quarterback, the 3rd or 4th quarterback that they've used this afternoon. And oh boy, what a big play. And that is why he's still in there. And they are still giving him the ball, as you said, Jordan. Run the ball. And why not when you have a guy like Dante Mills making things happen? Dante Mills at the far end makes his way over to the 42-yard line. A nice first down pickup.
Yeah, but there's a flag down on the play, so
10 minutes and 43 seconds.
They're calling it a face mask.
And that is against the Barnstormers. One of the few bad plays from the Barnstormers this afternoon. They've played a great game so far. In reality, I don't think there's much we can really say about the way that the Barnstormers have played besides the fact that they have been efficient this afternoon. Everybody's played great. I mean, they never got that onside kick, but boy, what a tremendous job from even their place kicker and Danny Betancourt. 1st and 10, they don't even give it to their man Dante Mills. It's 34 taking the carry. Desmond Daniels, who had a touchdown last week. And he takes the carry and he picks up nothing. Actually loses a couple of inches, maybe about a yard on that one. So a second and a little long coming up for the Knights with 8 minutes and counting. And the man in there is Nelson Valenzuela, the quarterback, with 3 receivers set here on the near side. Valenzuela, pressure is on immediately. Oh, and he is brought down for a sack. And the first man there wasn't just one guy. It was number 33 and 6 for the Barnstormers. That was Brandon Gooch and San Vizzusi. And Vizzusi is coming out after that one. So a 3rd and 11 is coming up for the Knights. Again, putting themselves in great position to hold the Knights to nothing again. Are the Barnstormers if they are able to contain on this play and get the pressure on that they have been putting on the quarterback this entire afternoon. Oh boy. And 2 guys for the Knights. Offsides. Oh boy, and on the sidelines there seems to be some sort of controversy. There's something going on with a couple of players from the Barnstormers. It looks like a couple of fans or just people from this side kind of just went out there. Not entirely sure what's going on. So some action happening outside of the game, but in the game, a first down, very close to it. It looks like it was Duplessis. Oh boy, a very close play from Nelson Valenzuela to Antonio Duplessis. Probably the biggest play, one of the biggest plays of this afternoon for the Knights offensively. And they were so close. And on a 3rd down play, they get it all the way to the 1, or with 1 left to go. So it's going to bring up a 4th and 1. Wow, a 10-yard pickup on that play from Valenzuela to Duplessis. What will the Knights do? This is critical. 4th and 1. And they're inside the red zone. Valenzuela gets taken down, and the play is broken up. Defensively, what a great job. Tony Beal was there right in front of Valenzuela's face, and he forced a weird throw from Valenzuela, turnover on downs. And the Barnstormers are going to take over with 5 minutes and 33 seconds left to go. Wow.
Yeah, that was greatly timed play there by the Barnstormers, and the Knights. That's disappointing for them.
the Barnstormers, again, taking full advantage of anything that goes their way, and that defense is holding up. They're looking strong. And if they keep this up, they're well on their way of to getting their first shutout of the year. Coming against Alameda County Knights, that would be a big, big win for them. And they'd go up, take first place. Here's Ellie taking the handoff from Sterling Montgomery. And Ellie, I think, maybe gets about 2 yards, makes his way to the 20-yard line. A pickup, yes, sir, of about 2 yards. 2nd and 8 coming up after this.
Yeah, it's killing him is that he keeps trying to backpedal his way around defenders, and that's setting him up for a loss. He gains 3 yards and loses 2 by himself.
And one of the questions, our other trivia question that we had, which I assume, Jordan, you picked this one, right? Who came up with the name Super Bowl? Was that it? Was that the other question that you asked?
Yes, that was the other question. And
awesome. Well, we're going to let them know in the next quarter. But how about that? Who came up with the name Super Bowl? Oh, what a great play for Montgomery. Finds Nicholas Breland. And that is definitely more than enough for a first down. Oh, boy. And it looks like Breland's down. Breland's down. He's not getting up. The local went to San Jose City College is down. We'll take a break. We'll be right back after this for Coach's Aid. All right, so we're back. Nicholas Breland was able to get back up. Hobbled off very quickly. And on this 1st and 10, there's a false start against the Barnstormers. So they're going to be pushed back 5 yards. But still not looking too bad are the Barnstormers, who look to be well on their way to a perfect 3-0 start. If the Knights continue to play as depleted as they are, at least at the quarterback position, that has been costing them the game this afternoon, and it's been tough. Oh boy, Sterling Montgomery.
A little bit of unnecessary roughness there.
Absolutely.
I would have called that if I was a ref. And I do see the flag there on the far side. I think that is for a false start or an encroachment.
Let's see what the call is, the official call. False start again on the offense, back-to-back false start penalties. You don't want to see that, and especially on offense when you have been controlling the game for the most part. Then again, this Alameda County Knights defense is better than what the scoreboard actually says. So I think I would not underestimate their physicality and how tough they really are. You have a guy like Cole out there pass rushing. Oh boy, getting right to Montgomery, but can't hold on. That was Sean Lindsay. Montgomery evades a couple of tacklers. And I think he is about a yard short from making his way back to the line of scrimmage. There's a couple of flags thrown on that from multiple referees.
And a couple of players slow to get up there. That was a great play by Montgomery, though. The pump fake definitely gave him some space.
Montgomery has really shown his athleticism out there. I mean, he's got some wheels on him. You know, he could throw the ball as deep as he has to. And he's been efficient. That's the biggest thing. He has not turned the ball over. Besides that one pick, I mean, just one. It's not bad. And, I mean, when you take a look at who you throw the interception to, it's Zane Maxey. This guy, he's the best cornerback as far as interceptions in the CDFL.
He's the Richard Sherman of the CDFL.
You know, so far, he's got a pick in every game so far. First 3 games, over 3 picks. Not bad. Not bad at all. And he's a big physical cornerback as well. He's tall. He's not little. We wait and see what the call is. The refs are taking a little time trying to decide what the right call will be. I'm wondering exactly what it is. I mean, it could have been a little bit of a face mask grab. I did see a bit of a tuck on Montgomery. I'm not entirely sure what they call it. Unsportsmanlike, and they're calling it on both sides. They should offset. We should look at a repeat of downs. But yeah, personal fouls. Both sides. Ejections. Oh boy. Oh boy. So how about that? Couple of ejections. Wow. We're not entirely sure the official players. It seems to be the call, though. And you wonder if it's the Knights getting a little
Frustrated.
Touchy. Absolutely. Or just letting their emotions get the best of them, as they did last week as well, even though they won last week. But that was kind of the case as well. 1st and 11, Montgomery's pass intended for Carr falls incomplete. Carr gets a couple of fingertips on the ball, but he can't come down with it. So now a 2nd and 10 will come up after this with 3 minutes and 54 seconds left to go. And this week 3 action, the third quarter of this one between the Barnstormers and the Alameda County Knights. Here comes a 2nd and 10 with a player in motion. That is Carr. Makes his way over to the near side. 3 receivers set from shotgun. Montgomery's pass. So close from being picked off for what could have been the 2nd time this afternoon. Luckily, it falls incomplete. Now we're looking at a 3rd and about 10. What a beautiful day out here. The weather in the 60s. The wind blowing just cool enough to make you feel right, especially if you're wearing pads. I want to say, if you're out there wearing pads, it's not too hot. The wind feels nice.
I think coming into the late stages of this third quarter, you're going to start seeing fatigue play a part in this game.
Oh boy, Montgomery's not in on this one. Wow, what a play! Oh my goodness, Nicholas Breland! I don't know how he did it. Burns. One-handed grab, he comes down with it.
That's like putting Odell Beckham Jr. with Randy Moss.
Wow.
That was a great catch.
What a play. Did that just happen? I mean, and this wasn't even Sterling Montgomery out there throwing the ball. It was the backup Jeffrey Williams, one of the backups for the Barnstormers, who's in there. Wow. What a play. Talk about Odell Beckham Jr. and Randy Moss mix. Man, I'd throw Chris Carter in that mix too. What a play. Carr first down. Play he is brought down very hard and ruthlessly by the Knights. And that was Johnny Wafer, somebody that we've seen as quarterback for the Knights. Big man. On a 2nd down play, Derek Morrison loses the ball. He might have been down. I think that's what they're going to be calling, but he did lose the ball when he went down. Let's see what the officials call it. Wow, what a play on 2nd down.
It's their ball, but
Earl Littlejohn forces the fumble. Derek Morrison coughs it up, and the Knights take over from their own, looks to be like 24-yard line. Wow. How about that? Derek Morrison with a 10-plus yard pickup, and then he fumbles. Wow. And they were already going to be in the red zone.
That's something that plagues all these teams is ball security. That's the thing that when I broadcasted their last Barnstormer game, that was something that they had trouble with, was ball security. And that's the case today. They had a great play, but they lost the ball, and it might cost them. This is a good opportunity for the Knights to come back and establish some dominance.
And now something going, oh boy, the way of the Knights. They get a pass completed, but immediately it's number 32 of the Barnstormers with a hard tackle. And what a great play from number 32 of the Barnstormers. I believe that is Chad Kakabine. What an interesting last name. I've actually never seen that last name before. Kakabine. Second and short. Coming up after that completion from number 23, Aaron Wallace. Valenzuela drops back. He makes a nice move. He's able to evade back-to-back sacks. And a completion, this time to Jamin Booty.
This has been nice seeing them being able to move the ball down the field consistently. It's something they haven't been able to do well this game. So hopefully this is the new team that we're going to see for the rest of the game.
Nelson Valenzuela now maybe after 2 completions back-to-back getting in some sort of groove. But with 2 minutes and 10 seconds, there's not very much time in the third quarter. They only have the fourth left to try to come back and possibly tie it or take a lead if they can. But this offense hasn't been able to do very much. And that was another example right there. Boy, that is critical. Another turnover for the Knights. And the Barnstormers take over. It's like they never left. The tables are turned just like that again. Barnstormers take over with outstanding field position. They're going to be inside the 40-yard line at about the 37 to be exact. And Jordan, boy,
mistakes like that. Those are what cost you games, and they've had a few of those, and that's why they're losing this one.
And this just made the opportunity of a comeback just that much harder for the Alameda County Knights if they hope to maybe stand a chance to do anything, any sort of damage. I mean, oh boy, that must have been it right there. Oh my goodness, and Dupree fumbles. I don't know how he does it, but he does. Oh my, he was so close. So close. And Dupree, this guy showing his breakaway speed on the near side, tiptoes his way inside the 5-yard line, past the red zone. What a tremendous job from Dupree.
Got to give some credit there to number 23, Brendan Gooch. You see that block that he made? Big hit there on the cornerback. And that's really what set up that long run there for almost a touchdown. It should have been a touchdown, but he tripped over himself.
So close to being a touchdown, but they are set up nicely at the 5. And from the 5-yard mark, they run it to the right side. That's number 87 of the Barnstormers, Adam Ramos. A bit smaller of a guy who is listed as a wideout. Plays the running back in that one. That was his role. Second and about 2 yards left to go. Dupree now trying to use his speed again, but that worked against him. Johnny Wafer is there in company. They met him back there, and they took him down. Louis Samayoa And Johnny Wafer amongst other Knights, that brought down Duprielli. Back to a loss of about 7 yards. What a great play defensively from the Alameda County Knights. All right, we'll take a break. This is it. That is the end of the third quarter. That's what marks it. 23-0, no points scored, and a scoreless third quarter. We'll be right back to resume the fourth quarter of this one between the Barnstormers and the Alameda County Knights. For CoachesAid.com, we'll be right back. More CDFL action. And we're back with more CDFL action here at Yerba Buena High School for CoachesAid.com, the amateur sports broadcasting network, alongside Jordan Burns. I am Eddie Ruiz. Week 3 action, the Alameda County Knights and the Central Coast Barnstormers. And so far, it's the Barnstormers who have had the upper hand on this one after taking a 23-0 lead after the first half. A scoreless third brings us to this fourth quarter right now, a 23-0 lead, but the Barnstormers are inside the 10, threatening to tack on more points. But just before that happens, here on a third down play, there is a penalty. Flags were thrown all over, and it's encroachment that's going to be called against the Knights. Nice break for the Barnstormers, who are going to get 5 free yards essentially and get that much closer to getting 6 more points added onto the scoreboard. Burnsy, my friend, if they get these 6 points, is it over? Is it over for the Alameda County Knights? Because you're talking about a game where you have less than 14 minutes to score at least 4 touchdowns, my friend, and that's tough.
It's going to be a hard one. So, I mean, miracles do happen, but in reality, it might be over.
What a play offensively, broken down, and in the middle, Jeffrey Williams is able to get the last touchdown, or maybe what could be, I guess, maybe the last touchdown, taking a 29-0 lead with 14:54 left to go. Oh my goodness. What has happened? The battle of the undefeateds has been lopsided this afternoon, and it can be for a lot of reasons that you can really just kind of explain the reason for. The Knights haven't necessarily played the worst game. The Barnstormers have played a little bit better, but offensively the Knights haven't, they had not done anything at all. They have been absolutely dominated. And it starts with the quarterback play. Their quarterback has been out. John Russell. And the extra point falls good. Jeff Williams with the touchdown run for 5 yards. Oh boy, and the wind is picking up. Now it looks like the winds are even reaching a peak of like 15, 20 miles an hour. Oh my goodness. Not as bad as it was last weekend in Modesto, though, I will say that. Boy, it was bad. We'll take a break here after that. Extra point, it's good. A 30-0 lead for the Central Coast Barnstormers. We'll be right back after this for CoachesAid.com. And we're back to resume the fourth quarter of this doubleheader between the Alameda County Knights and the Central Coast Barnstormers. Here, Week 3 action of the CDFL, the California Developmental Football League, is in full play. Don't forget that we will be broadcasting all games every week right here at CoachesAid.com. You can tell your friends and family. Coaches Aid, ASBN. Broadcasting live here at CoachesAid.com. You can always also rewatch this game on demand in 3 to 5 business days, and or buy a DVD from the DVD store. All here at CoachesAid.com. I'd like to thank everybody that is tuning in to this game this afternoon. We welcome you. If you are just joining us for any reason, or if you're coming right back, 14 minutes and 54 seconds left. The Barnstormers just tacked on 7 more points. They're up big, a 30-0 lead over the Alameda County Knights. Here's Bencourt with the kickoff. Danny Bencourt done a solid job for the special teams unit so far. And I was going to say the Barnstormers have done a great job as they allow the Knights to get the best return of this afternoon past the 30-yard mark to about the 32. So that's where they'll take over. 1st and 10. There's a flag right next to the football, actually. There's been a couple flags this afternoon. It's been, and I don't even want to say it's actually been an ugly game, Jordan, but there's definitely been a lot of flags. I think something we probably didn't really expect. And something you mentioned, though, that could play a big factor here this afternoon.
Yeah, it definitely has. The team that has the most penalties in this game is the one that is trailing. So, coincidence? You tell me.
That's up to our viewers to decide. We are just giving them the facts, and they choose to do with it basically whatever they want. We do have a trivia question for you guys. We'll ask you guys the question again. We'll give you guys the answer in a couple of minutes. So who came up with the name? Super Bowl. Super Bowl. Everyone knows the Super Bowl. Who came up with the name? That's the question. Pretty simple, but pretty hard at the same time because, you know, who would come up with such a great name?
Ooh, I know, but I can't go tell you guys yet.
We'll let you guys know in a bit. Heck, you can even check it out yourselves. Use that online thing that everybody seems to ask whenever they have a question, right? I mean, they just say, hey, just go on there and ask away, whatever. Everyone knows. Everyone knows. I wonder how the world would be without that now.
Without the
considering,
internet?
Yeah, without the website that gives you the answer to everything. 1st and 10 coming up for the Knights. Brought down right away. The defense of the Barnstormers. They've been doing that all afternoon. And again, Brandon Gooch coming up big. That guy has been quite phenomenal for this team. And coming from a Division I school, well, why not, right? I mean, he did go to Louisiana Tech. You go to Division I school, I think, anywhere. And your talent, I think it's far more superior than most of your colleagues and your peers. So great job, Brandon Gooch, so far this afternoon, playing a great game. A 2nd and 18 for the Knights. And they run it, not trying to do too much to trick anybody, but in reality, they're just trying to get, I think, any sort of positive yards any way they possibly can. And the man that takes it that time is Francis Moose Butler. And, you know, Coach John Wafer shouldn't be as upset, I think, as maybe we would anticipate or think that he would be after. You know, after a game like this, I mean, you don't have your starting quarterback. Your offense obviously looks a little lost. But in reality, I mean, what does Coach Wafer, what does he take from this game so far, knowing it's only week 3?
I mean,
nice throw, Duplessis with an even better catch.
It's gonna matter more if they can get a score, because you need to show that at least your running unit can hold up your team to some degree. And because obviously their passing game is shoddy because they don't have their starting quarterback, but all the units are still there, so you should be able to get a little something done. So hopefully, if I was the coach, I'd be happy with a score, but at this point right now, I'd be unhappy until I get at least some points on the board.
A shutout. I was going to say, I was told by one of my coaches growing up in high school, I mean, heck, this guy, I think he preached it quite often, is losing is one thing, but when you get shut out, that's something else. I mean, and I don't even want to say it because I'm just reminding myself of the coach's face when he would say that. It was scary. It was like, Well, guys, let's get a field goal at least. Come on, let's get something.
Yeah,
I don't want to go home getting shut out, man. That's pretty embarrassing.
Yeah.
So if any of these guys at all have that sort of mentality at the least bit, I mean, if all these guys can get together in this drive and think that way, just for a drive, I don't see why they couldn't tack on any points. But getting shut out and losing, very different. Very different in football. Dropping back is Nelson. Oh, my goodness. And Valenzuela, I don't know what was going on, but Wallace was looking at him too with his hands thrown up in the air, and Wallace, oh man, and Duplessis and Wallace take their helmets off, and they are just not happy campers right now. I don't think anybody would be if we were in the Alameda County Knights shoes. And just like that, another turnover on downs for the Alameda County Knights offense that has been held scoreless this afternoon against the Barnstormers. And if this ends the way it does, or if the Barnstormers get another couple points tacked on, I mean, we are going to have to praise this Central Coast team for being, in all honesty, at least after week 3, one of the best teams in the CDFL as far as points being put up, as far as their record. I mean, they are sitting pretty so far. The owner, Jeffrey Longoria, if I was him, I'd be happy right now. I don't think I'd want anything else. Oh boy. But just like that, Johnny Wafer, the linebacker for the Knights, is not going to have it, and he brings down Matt Barkira down right away. Barkira had 50 yards on only 3 carries last week. How about that?
That's an impressive stat there.
Had a handful of very big runs. Obviously, this Alameda County Knights defense, though, doesn't allow very many big plays. They've only allowed a couple here this afternoon, and Montgomery has been able to capitalize on them, obviously coming down with 3 of those touchdowns. Nice coverage right there from Malcolm Weeks, who brings down the receiver of the Barnstormers, who gets that catch. Looked to be Will Lawrence was the receiver after a nice throw from Jeffrey Williams. Third down coming up. Oh boy, drawn off sides. I think that will be the call from what we saw up here. Without a doubt, it will be a penalty, it looks like, against the offense. And they're going to be pushed back. Oh no, it's against the defense. So a hard count from quarterback Williams draws the Knights offside, so they get 5 yards added to this drive. And now we're looking at a more manageable third down. Here's Barkira, gets in motion. Jeff Williams, the backup. Oh boy, he gets taken down. It looks like almost once, twice, no. Finally, he is not going to let go, and that was Sean Lindsay, the captain of this defense, number 55 for the Knights. Great job. The pressure was on immediately, though. The Knights, that has been their strength after this week, without a doubt, has been their front line. Their front 7, their front 6, because they do like to mix up the defense a lot. They'll play 1 or 2 safeties. Heck, they'll sometimes bring a DB and play as a linebacker. So they do a lot of trickery. They really just play about 2 defensive linemen at a time. I mean, they play sort of a style of defensive scheme like the Niners had, at least for the past 3 or 4 years, when you would line up Justin Smith and McDonald just on the interior, and then you have all the linebackers obviously on the outside, then you have Patrick and Navarro on the inside, and I mean, that's enough. This is kind of the similar style of defense. What a great play, though. Oh my gosh, on a 4th down, Jeff Williams, I don't know how he did it. But he found Nolan Dixon for a touchdown. Just like that, the Barnstormers add 6 more. What a pass.
Yeah, that was a beautiful pass. Great awareness by the receiver. Great quarterback and receiver chemistry as well, that they were able to see that right in front of the end zone, come back and just walk his way into the end zone for the rest of it.
My goodness. With 9 minutes and 44 seconds left to go in this game, the Barnstormers aren't done. They got 6 more points and counting tacked on. Already with 13 in this quarter alone. Betancourt gets the extra point, so it's 37-0. And just like that, wow. This has turned into a bit of a blowout here in the second half. A 37-0 lead for the Barnstormers. We'll take a break, and we'll be right back with more CDFL action right here from Yerba Buena High School for CoachesAid.com. All right, we're back here for CoachesAid.com at Yerba Buena High School for the California Developmental Football League Week 3 action. A double header that we have ahead of us, basically. So we have a long night. We're just basically kind of getting started.
Heads, apparently.
A lot of heads. No bodies, just heads. 9:44 left to go in this quarter, a 37-0 lead. Oh boy, our rosters just flew everywhere. Woo! Oh boy, we're gonna have to go get that somehow, somewhere. Yeah, that's definitely one of the rosters. The wind is picking up. Boy, that was a gust of about 30 miles an hour on that one right there, Jordan. That was crazy, man. Let's not.
I was able to save the questions.
Oh my gosh! You know what? That's what I was just gonna ask you. What's up with our questions? I want to get that answer sometime soon.
You know what? Let's give it to them now. What do you think?
We might as well. This game's getting carried away. We need some entertainment for them, man. This game's just getting crazy right now. The Barnstormers are just going off.
All right. So the question was, who came up with the name Super Bowl?
Ooh.
Drum roll, please. And the answer is,
what is
Lamar Hunt.
Lamar Hunt. All right. What a savage. That guy's the man. He essentially made up a name that is kind of historical, not just in football, not just in America, in sports. That's pretty much what it comes down to.
I actually heard, I've heard a couple stories about how the name Super Bowl came. The story I heard originally was that...
Wow. On a first down play, Dante Mills, I don't think he even got his hand on it. And a turnover again. That's Tony Beal that comes away with it. He strips it. Wow.
All right, and after that play, I'll continue my story. So, the story that I heard about the name Super Bowl, I heard that it was actually Lamar Hunt's daughter that came up with Super Bowl, and that told him that she was, at least, or something around that lines, that she was like the inspiration to it, because she was eating like cereal or something. And it makes somewhat of sense.
Yeah.
So, I don't know what story I heard. I don't know what Lamar Hunt's inspiration was for it. Maybe it was that. I don't know. Something to think about.
It's very possible. Obviously, children are a big influence. I was going to say we're a big influence to our parents. I know that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Lamar Hunt.
Speaking of parents, hi Mom, hi Dad. Know you guys always like to watch.
Mr. and Mrs. Burns, hello, hello. Glad you guys are tuning in. Jordan's a great guy. He knows his stuff. First down player here, Dupree Ellie. All right, so they're saying it's Eli. Ellie. You know, unless Dupree comes over to us and tells us after the game, or something, hey, man, you guys mispronounced my... I'm going to call him Dupreelli because I like that name. It sounds a lot nicer. So Dupree. We're just calling him Dupree. And he's lined up right next to the quarterback for now. Jeffrey Williams, not the starter, the backup. Gets a player in motion. Pass rush is there. Dupree. Oh, this kid has got some serious speed. Whew. Just flying around like there is no tomorrow. Doing a great job here with 7 minutes and counting left in this game. And the Barnstormers are on their way to a 3-0 start. Not too bad.
Yeah, with just under 6:50 left, and with possession of the ball.
Derek Morrison gets the carry, and he makes his way up to the 4-yard line, a little past the 5, it looks like. So it's 6:30 and counting. A second and goal is going to be coming up for the Barnstormers, who are in serious position to really put this game well out of reach. It's already looking a little ugly, but boy, if they get 6 more, wow, that'll be something that Coach Wafer on the Knights side will really have to think about. What will they do to come back after something like that? Dupree loses his footing, and they're going to call him down exactly where he went down without a tackle, really, just kind of fell. And so they're calling him down right back at the line of scrimmage. 3rd down coming up. And the Knights on their way to a 2-1 start. So not bad for the Knights as well. But how do you recover from a complete debacle? I mean, just a beating of what it was today, however you want to characterize it. Jordan, I mean, this was just an ugly game. Not their day.
Yeah, it's going to come down to the next week in practice. And it actually looks like there's a player down on the field now from the Barnstormers, which is disappointing, especially this late in the game and you're winning. The worst thing you want to do is see one of your players down on the field.
Oh, that's huge. So we'll take a break. There's a player down. We'll be right back after this with 5:13 left to go in the 4th quarter. Week 3 action between the Barnstormers and the Knights.
Yes! No! Yes! 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 We did it! Yes, we did! Yeah, see you, bud. Later.
Honey, who was that?
Who, that guy? I don't know.
Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports.
We're back here at Yerba Buena High School, live for CoachesAid.com, the amateur sports broadcasting network. Central Coast Barnstormers and the Alameda County Knights squaring off in a battle of the undefeateds coming into this one. Both teams were 2-0. But the Barnstormers, 5 minutes and 13 seconds away. That's it, Jordan, from going on to a 3-0 start. It'll prove really how dominant, how good the Central Coast Barnstormers team is. I mean, the fact that they've been able to put up 28-plus points in back-to-back-to-back games, not back-to-back, back-to-back-to-back 3 games, that's impressive. Looks like there might have been a flag on that play. No, there's not. False start, pass falls incomplete. And it was intended for a look like Matt Barkira. 4th down is coming up. You wonder if it's going to be a field goal or if they will try to get 6 more. Then again, their kicker has been pretty consistent as well. Danny Betancourt, one of the better kickers in the CDFL.
And they're bringing out Montgomery, too. And it looks like they have the kicker out. So it looks like they'll try to go for that field goal and make it 40-0.
So the man who went...
If I was them, I would have gone for it. I mean, what do you have to lose, really? And even if you don't make it, you give your defense incredible field position.
Oh, absolutely. That above all things, I don't think it might have really hurt him at all. But let's go with the sure points. Danny Betancourt gets 3, and wow, 40-0. With 4 minutes and 26 seconds. We'll take a break. We'll be right back after this, guys. 4 minutes and 26 left. Week 3 action, CDFL. Oh, yeah. Getting down. Some good music playing here at Yerba Buena High School. Makes me want to dance. We had Jordan dancing here just literally a second ago. Shaking his tail. Why not? We're having a good time here, guys. CoachesAidcom, the Amateur Sports Broadcasting Network. Week 3 action of the California Developmental Football League. A big blowout. Not entirely kind of what it was. I mean, the first half, 23-0 lead, but then you think 2 quarters left and the Knights could do something. But without their starting quarterback, wow, they have found themselves in a state of turmoil. I mean, it has just been a bad afternoon. Nothing has gone their way. There's been no offense. It hasn't existed this afternoon for the Knights.
Yeah, and towards the end of this game, their defense is even
tired,
trailed off. Yeah. I mean, the defense has been on the field for a really long time.
So the Knights take the nice. Oh boy, what a great kickoff return, the best one this afternoon. A 40-plus yard kickoff return for the special teams unit of the Knights, and that's a slow on getting up was a kick returner. As we look ahead into this game this afternoon, East Valley Bandits and the San Jose 49ers will be squaring off after this one. That's the doubleheader that we have. So you guys don't want to miss that one. That's going to be a nice matchup between 2-1 teams. I believe that's their record so far. Or, 1-1. I'm thinking 2-1 like they already played week 3. Hey, April Fools, man. Duh. Just kidding.
A little late, but okay.
You know what?
A little, as we've seen, I think you're just a little late to a lot of things.
It's true. But I was going to say, I had a buddy of mine in high school who would use that April Fool's joke year-round, at least once a month, and they'd tell him, hey, man, it's not April. He'd be like, oh, come on, man. Oh, where's your sense of humor? That was his thing. It was absolutely hysterical.
I would have turned around and been like, April Fool's, right? I got it.
I mean, absolutely just
play dumb.
Just being silly. Just being silly. So 2 1-1 teams getting ready to battle it off. As we near the end of this one, the backup quarterback, Jeffrey Williams, gets taken down with 3 minutes, 10 seconds and counting. As we look ahead to next week matchups for both of these teams, next week is going to be a little bit different. So it's going to be, I don't know if I want to say it's going to be kind of an easy game, at least for the Central Coast Barnstormers, but they're going to be taking on the Solano Hornets. I have not seen them yet, but coming into this week, they are 1-1. They've only put up 36 points in 2 games, and the Barnstormers put up that much in just 1 game, and they played 2 other games.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they're already up 40, so.
Yeah. Woo. It's going to be interesting.
Hornets are going to have their work cut out for them.
They will. And then the Sacramento Wildcats will square off against the Alameda County Knights. So coming into this week, those were 2 of the top 3 offenses as far as points scored. So the Knights, who were shut out, at least so far this afternoon, as that pass falls incomplete from Williams on a second down. That's going to bring up a third down. Wow, that's going to be really, really tough. Burns really for both sides. I mean, I don't want to say the Hornets are a walk in the park, but without a doubt, I was going to say the Wildcats are a strong team. Wow, how are the Knights going to be able to take on a team like the Wildcats after facing off against another great team like the Wildcats and the Barnstormers?
Yeah. At least a blessing out of this game is that coming out to the practice next week that the Knights know their weaknesses now. They've had their team dissected by the Barnstormers, and now they can put the pieces back together in this week.
Wow, Jeffrey Williams able to escape a handful of sack attempts, what it could have been at least. But yeah, I'm with you. The Knights are going to go into next week, I think, knowing more about themselves, finding more of their identity when they're missing that star quarterback of theirs in John Russell, and hopefully he's back. I mean, it's going to be critical for the Knights if they hope to be successful at all against Sacramento next week. Barnstormers are going to be here next week, by the way, against the Hornets. I think, from the top, I think I might be here for that game. I'm not entirely sure. I'll have to look at the schedule. Nice pass. Jeff Williams. I believe that's Wallace. Aaron Wallace on the far end who catches it. A first down here with under a minute left to go. So we are literally just moments away from the post-game interview. It's going to be with Sterling Montgomery, the player of this game. 3 touchdowns. Not too bad. All of them in the first half, I mind you. I mean, that's not bad. Not bad at all.
Yeah, your team's doing good when your coach takes out your starting quarterback to give reps to someone else.
Absolutely. That was an absolutely great play. Wow. Off the fingertips of a defender from the Barnstormers, and they are not going home with a shutout. Wow. That was just absolutely great play. The concentration in reality right there from Vince Brodney, sorry. Wow. Great awareness. I mean, his hand-eye coordination, it couldn't have been better there. I don't know how he did it. He came down with it, and a nice touchdown play right there. 38 yards with 23 seconds. Not too bad.
Yeah, and that's the play that they needed, so their practice next week isn't terrible. You need that confidence going like, hey, we can make good plays. Come on, guys. And that was, as you said, a beautiful play.
Great play from Brodney. As we await the extra point, 23 seconds left. Again, next week's matchups, the Alameda County Knights will face off against Sacramento Wildcats, 6 p.m. at San Juan High School next Saturday. The Barnstormers are going to be here next week against the Solano Hornets at 7 o'clock. You won't want to miss that. One of the last unbeaten teams is the Central Coast Barnstormers after they leave this afternoon with the victory. Extra point is good for the Alameda County Knights, who will not go home with 0 points. We'll take a break right before we conclude the end of this one. We're just seconds away from finishing off Week 3 action, Game 1 of our doubleheader. We'll be right back for CoachesAid.com. And we're back to conclude the end of this one for CDFL action here at CoachesAid.com. Coming at you guys live from Yerba Buena High School. Alongside Jordan Burns, I'm Eddie Ruiz with 23 seconds left to go in this fourth quarter. Week 3 action. Central Coast Barnstormers on their way to the third consecutive victory of the season to take a 3-0 lead over everybody and just sit atop at least after this one so far. And wow, I mean, it looks like it's going to be the Barnstormers and the Wildcats after this weekend, sitting atop a 3-0, assuming the Wildcats play the way they should this afternoon. I don't want to jinx them, but I'm just saying, I'm just putting that out there. Assuming they do the way they should, perform the way they should. We're going to be looking at those two teams taking a 3-0 lead heading into next week. And in reality, the Barnstormers, after they play the Hornets next week, if they play the way that they did today next week, well then, you know what? Wow, 4-0 start for them, my friend, because they are looking like one of the most dominant teams in the CDFL, at least as far as this 2015 spring season is concerned. As we await the kickoff, the doubleheader coming up right after this one. It's not going to be very far off. It's going to be the San Jose 49ers taking on the East Valley Bandits coming out of Modesto. So all the way from the Valley coming into the Bay. One of the teams that I have the pleasure of broadcasting. I think I'm broadcasting all their games, to be honest with you. So that's why I guess the local team, the one I broadcast most of the time. A bit of a squibber, kind of an onside kick. Really just to give them any opportunity to maybe come down with it. They don't, though. The Barnstormers take over, and it looks like this is going to be the end of this one without a doubt.
Expect them to take a victory kneel, and we'll have the players lining up to shake hands, and good game at the 50-yard line.
Yeah, we'll talk to Sterling Montgomery coming up after this. You guys don't want to miss that. Player of the game. 3 touchdowns in the first half alone. 2 in the air, 1 on the ground. This should definitely be the last play. They're letting the clock wind down. It is. 5 seconds and counting. Jordan Burns, my friend. We're going to be back after this one. Game 2, my friend. We'll be right back, guys. You guys don't want to miss this. For CoachesAid.com, Week 3 action. Game 1 of our doubleheader. This one ends, and it's the Central Coast Barnstormers who come out on top 40-7 against the Alameda County Knights. For Jordan Burns, Mike Chasko, everybody, Jen Gallagher, everybody that helped us out today. For CoachesAid.com, we'd like to thank you guys. Stay tuned for the post-game interview with Sterling Montgomery, the quarterback for the Central Coast Barnstormers. We'll be right back after this for Coach's Aid. Hi, everybody. I'm Eddie Ruiz for CoachesAid.com, the Amateur Sports Broadcasting Network, here with the leader of the game for basically the team that won it, the Central Coast Barnstormers quarterback, Sterling Montgomery. What's up, my friend? How are you doing? A great performance. Sorry about that. A little bit of a technical difficulty. So Sterling Montgomery, the player of the game, leader of this game this afternoon. And we are joined by him. Sterling, how were you able to be so successful in today's game?
We were pretty successful coming together as a team. Our offensive coordinator was a little late, but the O-linemen, receivers, everybody did a great job of just staying together and trusting us as a family, and pulling through together as a team and a unit, and that's what made us successful today.
You were obviously facing off against another team that was undefeated coming into this one. You guys were both 2-0. Was there any sort of sense of urgency trying to get out on front basically early on in this game? Because that's exactly what you guys did.
There's always a point if you want to get up on an opponent early. We just needed to play all 4 quarters from the beginning and not try to wait. So like I said, we dealt with some adversity, but everybody did a great job of coming together and just pounding the ball, making some plays, and we came out successful. So it's all thanks to everybody on this team.
You yourself, you came away with 3 touchdowns, all in the first half alone. Then you get taken out kind of early in the third quarter. Was that the reason for that, though? Because you guys kind of went on ahead, kind of a big lead, I guess, so to speak, and it seemed like you guys were really controlling Alameda.
The deal was our offensive coordinator changed some plays, and with those plays, the look wasn't right, so he wanted to pull me out and show me what I was doing wrong on those certain plays. But it was about time. Jeff went in there, ran one and threw one in, did an awesome job. It's all a learning process. We switch up everything as we go, so it's all part of the plan. The team did great.
All right, so you guys now go up 3-0. What does that say to you? And the fact that you guys were able to now go up 3-0 in this league, I mean, that has to be some sort of kind of a confidence booster, but at the same time, I think you don't want to be overconfident, right? So how does that kind of carry on over to the next couple weeks to come?
Our whole team stays humble, and we all stay hungry. We all have one common goal, and that's to try to win a championship. So we really do focus one day, one game at a time, and we try to keep it as classy as possible. We don't try to talk too much, and we just try to go out there and play our best. And as a team unit, we do that pretty successfully, I feel. So if we can keep doing that, then hopefully we can keep up these high hopes, and we'll just see what happens week through week.
Great performance. Week 3 action, 3 touchdowns from Sterling Montgomery, everybody. Central Coast Barnstormers quarterback, leader of the game. Thank you so much for joining us. Good luck in the rest of the season. You guys are the first team to take a 3-0 lead in the CDFL.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, take care. All right, guys, stay tuned for the next game of our doubleheader. San Jose 49ers will be taking on the East Valley Bandits as we conclude this week's afternoon matchup. For CoachesAid.com, we'll be right back after this. You don't want to miss this action of these teams coming up. 1-1 teams coming up. See you soon. Bye.